Hello, welcome to a video for the 2010 Pursuit of Cobra Fury. And here we have a closer look at the packaging that the Cobra Fury comes in. Before we go to all the package design attributes, the first one I wanted to go to right here is the artwork. This artwork I think is the first time that I've ever felt like I'm really in the action. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think because we're so close to the vehicle and the character, it almost feels as if I'm in the moment. It feels like I'm on a street corner, or maybe we're hiding in this rubble right here and we're seeing that Cobra Fury roll by. So definitely like the fact that it's nice and large. But then we also still have some room for some buildings right there. Looks like maybe another one right here, a skyscraper that's been burnt down. And then we have some other ones back here. This definitely gives more of a future look to some of the buildings in the background, I think. But it explains it a little bit more in the back of the packaging of why those look the way they do. And then we also have the G.I. Joe logo right here that has been updated for Pursuit of Cobra. I think it's kind of interesting because it is different than the Rise of Cobra one, and also if they continue with the artwork that we've seen, it's going to be different than what they plan to do for Renegades or 30 anniversary figures, because they've kind of gone more to the old school where it's all white and red, white, and blue stripes, I think, right here instead of silver. And then we have the Cobra symbol right here to let you know that this is part of the Cobra arsenal. And then we have Cobra Fury right there. We have the Alley Viper officer, as they're calling him. And then we also have him here driving. But there would be two drivers down here as well. And then it talks about the elevating gun turret, which is this right here. And then we'll take a look at the side of the box. On this side of the box we have Cobra Fury, the Cobra symbol, G.I. Joe logo here, and even a closer look at the Alley Viper officer in his gun turret. And on this side of the box we have the G.I. Joe logo here, a description of what G.I. Joe is. G.I. Joe is the code name for a special operations unit of highly trained men and women. Their purpose is to defend the world against Cobra, a ruthless organization with criminal tentacles in every nation on Earth. Then we have our first mentioning of the fact that it includes the Alley Viper officer figure. And we have him without his helmet here, but he does come with a helmet. And then we also have him grabbing a knife out of his teeth like he's about to cut somebody. On the back of the box we have Cobra Fury, the Cobra symbol. Then we have bullet points here. First bullet point being firing missile launcher. Second one is the mine dispenser. Third is the opening cockpit, but it only has opening cockpit here, but there's actually a second one right there that also opens as well. Here we have another mentioning of the fact that it includes the Alley Viper officer figure, and he's right here. Then we have more of a diorama to the background than artwork. With this diorama, besides the Alley Viper officer, we also have the Cobra Fury here, and a few bullet points talking about the elevating gun turret, opening engine panel, which looks like it's kind of on top, but it's actually on the other side. We have rotating Gatling gun, which is right there. Flip-up battering ram is this right here. And then back here kind of looks like Stonehenge to me with all the different stones here, but it's actually a large building that's been blown and knocked down. But then we also have some buildings in the background here, and then a very dark auburn sky, and it could be sunset, or maybe there's so much smoke and so many explosions that it's starting to turn the sky dark. Then we have the fact that it's part of the Pursuit of Cobra City Strike mission. It says the G.I. Joe team uses their ninja training as they infiltrate a Cobra warehouse. And then we have a description up here that says, Cobra Fury tanks roll through the nighttime streets of an Asian city and test their prototype engineering and firepower. The compact design allows these vehicles to move easily through roads and alleys. The battering ram and side-shot missile launcher can clear obstacles in their path with plenty of direct force and concentrated fury. Now, it's interesting that they say an Asian city, so that way you know that either the Alley Vipers and the city strike is only taking place in this one Asian city, and then maybe this is happening at the same time, or they're here on their way to the Arctic or after the Arctic, so they're being pursued by G.I. Joe all around the world. And I thought it was kind of interesting also to see that it says Asian city, because going through the different file cards for at least Alley Vipers, even though this only includes the Alley Viper officer, but of course, if he's an officer, then I would think he's leading some Alley Vipers. And in the 1983 Alley Viper file card, it says, "We aren't afraid of taking over any city, except maybe some parts of New York City." So, kind of funny that they're saying that, because if you read a lot more about the previous Alley Vipers and then some engineering Alley Vipers that were, thought of later in the line, they're not afraid of anything, and they're tested to the most extreme, and they're the ruthless of the ruthless, and yet we've got them that they don't want to go into New York City. So just wanted to share that part. And here's a look at the top of the box. Looking at the bottom of the box, you can see, although it's faded out, a close-up of the eyes and the mask of the Alley Viper officer. You have visitgijoe.com, as well as G.I. Joe Collectors Club at gijoeclub.com, as well as an ID or clearance badge for the Alley Viper officer that reads, Number 1021, Alley Viper Officers. Alley Viper Officers specialize in urban combat and lead platoons of Alley Viper troopers in ground assaults. These Cobra officers train their troops to conduct fast-strike operations of takeover and sabotage in cities around the world. In an Asian city, they battle the G.I. Joe team to prevent them from infiltrating a Cobra warehouse. So it makes you wonder what they are hiding or trying to protect in that Cobra warehouse. Then it says mission equipment, anti-tank high-explosive missile launcher system. Now that's the missile launcher that is on the side of the gun turret for the Cobra Fury. Now I did want to bring this up thanks to something that Dave, one of Three Knights, had pointed out in another one of my videos. And if you look at the side here, you'll see that it does say number 1021, and I'd always focused on that maybe that stands for the year, and then the 21 is the number of the figure in the line. But another one I wanted to point out now is this one here that says 3309 AO, because it took me a while, but I see that as standing for Alley Viper Officer, because if you go, for example, to maybe the Cobra Ice Cutter, you'll see that his number is 8876-SO, which could stand for Snow Serpent Officer. So I thought that was very interesting, and I thank Dave, one of Three Knights, for pointing out what he did in a previous video of mine. So then it made me start looking at these ID or clearance badges a little bit closer. So thanks for that. Now, with the Cobra Fury being one of the vehicles that came out in the second wave of vehicles for Pursuit of Cobra, we have it with a catalog that also has the figures from Wave 1 and Wave 2, but this catalog also came with Wave 3 figures as well. I'm not sure about Wave 4 because I haven't gotten any of those yet. But with it coming in a vehicle, it's not as folded up as it would be with the figures. So on one side you have Arctic Threat with Snowjob and Destro and the Ice Cutters. And then on the other side, because it's not as folded up, you get a little bit better look at the figures from Wave 1 and Wave 2. And here we have the Alley Viper Officer, as he looks almost everywhere on the packaging, except for on the back where he's wearing this helmet right here. Here we have it in the closed position, so you can see the Cobra emblem there and then there, but it does flip up to give us more of the look at the figure's face. And here we have the Alley Viper Officer with his helmet on. Now you can close it, and with it closed, a lot of people have said in the past how it is that they're able to see through it. And I'm kind of going to say that, at least with the Pursuit of Cobra, we've been able to see that in the Ghost Hawk for G.I. Joe, and then the Hiss Tank for Cobra, they've all talked about how there's video screens and cameras that allow him to be able to see. So maybe that's the same thing with the Alley Viper Officer. and he's able to use it as not only to be able to see, but maybe he's got heat sensor cameras within it, and it also works as night goggle. And then other than the paint application that we'll show you when we take the helmet back off, the other paint application he has is this kind of wristband or arm guard that's silver, maybe chrome, metallic, and you can see that it looks like there's maybe a video screen there, maybe a dial, so maybe that's how he communicates with the platoons that he's leading. But yeah, other than that, the only other paint applications that he has are, of course, for his eyes, and then he's got the Cobra symbol there. Now, him being a Cobra Alley Viper officer, he does have the mask that was normal for the 25th anniversary Alley Viper, unlike the Alley Vipers that come out for Pursuit of Cobra, and then hopefully for G.I. Joe Renegades and the 30th anniversary figures, because I have a couple Alley Vipers, but I think they really did great with this Alley Viper when they released it as Pursuit of Cobra Trooper, but I haven't really been able to get any more than maybe 3 of them, I think is how many I have. Now, the thing that I wanted to show off, since we have him here too, is he does have the removable knife here. Now, this one does like to fall quite a bit, and I've had in the past some issues with losing items, and so I don't think I'll display him with this knife within the sheath. I think I'll definitely take it off and put it somewhere safe than be worried about picking him up all the time and having him fall. And I also have it in here sideways, so maybe with the friction that will be able to keep it in there, but then it doesn't fit all the way in. So I would just suggest, if you haven't already picked up an Alley Viper yet, that be careful for that knife. Now, I haven't had any issues with the knife that's also removable from the side here, but just a heads up. Now, I know that Cobra Chris 31 recently got his Alley Viper, so I'm wondering if you're having that issue with this knife, or has your knife been pretty good for you. So the other thing I guess we can do is the 360 and just look at how much paint applications he really doesn't have. All his color that he comes with is pretty much just the molded color of the plastic.